This Sunday just gone saw the return of the annual boat race, which pits the Titans of Cambridge up against the Giants of Oxford. And what better opportunity is there to look back on the race's way weirder than you'd think history than with a numbered list? That's right, I'm doing a numbered list. I'm a real YouTuber now. Number 1, the very first boat race. February 1829, and what was potentially a dark and stormy night, it was decided at Cambridge University Boat Club to challenge Oxford to row a match at or near London, each in an 8-oared boat. So Charles Merivale, a historian and churchman at St John's College, Cambridge, goes up to his old Harrow buddy, Charles Wordsworth, at Christ Church, Oxford, and says, "You, me, Henley-on-Thames. The prize? 500 guineas. Roughly £59,000 in today's money, but it wasn't really that important because not much stuff had come out then yet. The two men agreed and went off to assemble their teams. June 10th, the two teams rock up, and sometime after 7, the race begins. Oxford steer close to Cambridge, forcing them to shore, but Cambridge wasn't having it, and bravely, they had the gumption to request a restart. The two teams are neck and neck until they pass an island, and Oxford managed to creep ahead to victory, with a time somewhere around 14 minutes. This means Cambridge challenged Oxford to a race, demanded they restart the race, and then lost the race. Not the cleanest start to the tradition for us. Ooh. Number 2, the only double sink. On the 69th boat race, both teams went down. Their boats, that is. As despite other instances of a single team sinking, the race of 1912 saw the first time both boats took excessive water load. Going into the race, Oxford was hit with influenza but managed to brush it off. Cambridge unfortunately could not and lost 2 rowers to illness. They didn't die or anything, they just weren't on the team. 30th of March, 11:43. The two teams set off and Oxford manages to peel ahead into the lead, but they take on water. They push ahead, staying close to the shore for shelter, but eventually it gets to be too much and they whack on the hazards and pull over to empty it out. They once again take to the Thames, where an official tells them that bad news, the Cambridge team has gone down by the Harrods Furniture Depository, but good news, a furniture depository is probably one of the more comfortable places to be stranded. Oh no, I hope no one saves me. The whole thing's a mess, so everyone agrees to push the race back 2 days, where Oxford ended up winning with 22 minutes and 5 seconds, the slowest winning time since 1901. That being said, I'd take a look at the day that they won and tell me if it really counts. Wake up, sheeple. Number 3, Dead Heat. Beyond sounding like a badass, god-awful Steven Seagal flick, Dead Heat was also the result of the 34th annual boat race held in 1877, the only recorded tie in the race's history.
I'm not wearing a tie at all.
Cambridge went in the reigning champions, having beaten Oxford easily at last year's race, but Oxford still had the total of 17 victories over Cambridge's 16. This was anyone's race. The two teams duke it out on the water, and as they approach the end, Oxford is in the lead, but their bowman feels some resistance. He was up against strong headwinds and rough water, and in a classic case of man versus nature, nature reigns supreme. His oar broke, and with only the last stretch left to go, Oxford were a man down. Cambridge saw their opportunity and sped up to catch up, but Oxford, desperate not to lose like losers, decided to cling on to whatever victory they still had, until a photo finish. Except back in 1877, you still had to wait ages for a photo finish because someone had to finish drawing it. This left the judging of the winner to one honest John Phelps, a fisherman by trade. The only problem? Blind in one eye. He declared the race a tie, but Oxford weren't happy about it and took it to the court of law, where they doubled down and said, no, yeah, it's still a tie. Not gonna lie, Cambridge, if you lose to a team that's down a man and then have to rely on a guy called Honest John Phelps, who is blind in one eye, to draw it out, you lost. You at least didn't win. Take the L. That's not a win you want. The results prompted in the introduction of finishing posts to make it easier for judges to assess who had won the race, as well as the removal of fishermen as judges overall. I mean, what did they expect picking a guy who's like blind in one eye to judge the end of a race? It's like asking Van Gogh to keep an ear out for the doorbell. Yo, Helen Keller, which outfit do you think looks better on me? Number 4, the Oxford Mutiny. Picture this, it's 1987. Never Gonna Give You Up isn't a joke yet. Hollywood's Predator still really only means the Arnie movie, and Oxford are coming off the back of their first loss in 11 years. American Chris Clark said, "Next year, we're gonna kick ass. Cambridge's ass. Even if I have to go home and bring the whole US squad with me." And he pretty much did. But they clashed with coach Dan Topolsky. Things heated up, resulting in a fitness test between American Chris Clark and Scottish club president Donald MacDonald.
Don't call me that. Well, it's your name.
MacDonald got clowned as Clark won, but MacDonald wasn't loving it and stuck Clark on his starboard, his weaker side. Amongst other things, this was the last paper straw for the Americans and they mutinied. After negotiations fell through, presumably because Oxford doesn't negotiate with terrorists, MacDonald recruited the help of ISIS, the reserve rowing team, who led Oxford to an explosive win. That's great for them and all, but as a Cambridge guy, me personally, I'm okay losing if it means I'm not on the side of ISIS. On the 20th anniversary of the race, Clark was quoted as saying, "The media just took the story and ran with it," which is insane. But you can find out more for yourself in the movie adaptation, True Blue. I really feel like they picked the wrong film to make here. Surely you do one about Oxford ISIS and the, other ISIS fighting over the names. Brains versus Brawn, I don't know. And number 5, 1944's Unofficial boat race. I don't know how many of you were alive to remember 1944, but for those of you who weren't, let me paint a picture. It was rough, because of the World War. The First and Second World Wars halted the tradition of the annual boat race, but the university still managed to throw 4 unofficial boat races in this time. One of these races was held in 1944 in Ely on the Great River Ouse. Ouse? Ouse? I don't know. Well, you're probably watching. Let me know. It's Ely, right? You're Ely. The only time it's been held outside of London since its very first race, until this year, where it returned to the Great River Ouse. Ouse. Delete is appropriate. The event was free, with only one area reserved for ticket holders chosen by Cambridge University, presumably because it's kind of the home ground. And this home ground encouraged a certain kind of crowd. An Oxford crewman described how amused he was by the mock booing and hissing of the people on the banks, mostly Cambridge supporters, but the very same supporters did cheer for them as well when they won the race by 3/4 of a length. This one's not really funny, but I thought it was pretty sweet that in a moment of great crisis, people could still find solace in a tradition like this, even finding the good nature to playfully rib each other. And coming out of a year as crap as the one we've just had, it's great to see the boat race back, in the same river no less, where people last came together to find comfort in the shared tradition in a moment of communal tragedy. It's great that we have this weird tradition that's been around longer than any of us have been, and hopefully in moments of not that greatness, we'll be there to comfort future generations too. All in all, I guess you could say that the Oxford-Cambridge boat race has been a real slam dunk. New kind of video on the channel. Did numbered lists work? Let us know in the comments down below. And like, comment, sub, ding the bell to be notified when new videos go up. All the usual stuff. Because in a time of physical isolation, I need all the electronic validation I can get, baby. There was a guy who asked for a shout out as well. Toxic Toper, consider this your shout out.